David. Project number 3 in the Competent Communication Manual is one of my favorite projects. It's titled Get to the Point. Imagine in the past, recent times, how many times have you found yourself, of course within yourself, not out loud, asking the other person, please just get to the point. We see this on TV, we hear this on the radio, we see this in live conversations. There is a magical moment when you start speaking. Everybody is focused on you. You have their full attention. But just like a stock exchange, after a certain moment, it starts going down and down and down. And it gets really hard to keep it up, and then it crashes down. And when that moment happens, they say, "Will you please get to the point? I mean, come on." I didn't feel that tonight, though, because I loved it. I loved the way you were able to connect with us from the start of your speech, first by interacting us, first by including us into the conversation. And I loved how you asked, how many did you have friends for 10 years? All hands went up. 20 years, half of them went down. 30 years, only 3 remained. And 40 years, only 1 person remained. That was it. I think that if it was intentional, that was a very nice humorous touch. And then you just took us on this journey, and we were able to identify with your emotional story. What I especially liked about it is the way you incorporated both storytelling and emotions into your speech. If you had told us one simple story, we might remember parts of it. If you played only with the emotions, if you fiddled with them, we might remember, we might forget, we don't know. But when you combine those two, when you take the emotions and actually convey them with a story, then you leave us with something to remember for a good amount of time, if not for the rest of our lives. And what I really liked about your speech is, instead of giving us too much information or too much things to ponder about, you said, I have one simple message. It is, think about postponing your life. Think about what you value the most, think about what means to you the most, and stop procrastinating, take action. And I love the way you crafted your entire speech around that single core message. Now, I can clearly see that this is an emotional moment for you, and I love the way you were able to take each and every one of us through that journey. You probably took all of us to that boat. We probably met your dear friend, and we were able to identify with you in such a high level that this will be something to remember for a good amount of time. There are only a couple of points that I might recommend for improvements. I'm not going to bore you too much with the details. I have some notes in here. One of them is the opening. While I like the interaction, you may want to, because in my honest opinion, in my personal opinion, the speech deserved a more dramatic opening, because you're asking us to change something on a fundamental level in our lives. So that will be just one of my recommendations. I love the way you didn't use notes, because if you did, it might create an obstacle between us. But I loved everything, and speaking of everything, I love the way you held that and identified with the theme of tonight. You told us to reconsider, question everything, including the hats. I have more on the manual, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Alper, for that wonderful evaluation. The second speaker we had this evening was Baron, who presented us his 4th speech. And his evaluator is Dick Bosborn. So with your applause, I'd like to invite him to